What if I told you that the secret to building the next billion-dollar company wasn't hidden in some business school textbook, but in the writings of a chain-smoking French philosopher from the 1940s? Yeah, today we're going to connect two worlds that have absolutely no business being in the same sentence. And trust me, it's going to get weird. It sounds completely insane, right? A philosopher in a Parisian cafe and a programmer in a Silicon Valley garage? But what if I told you the fundamental problem keeping that programmer up at night is the exact same one that haunted that philosopher after World War II? The connection is, well, it's kind of undeniable once you see it. So picture this. On one side, you've got Jean-Paul Sartre. He's in post-war Paris, looking at a world that's been stripped of all its old certainties, and he's asking, okay, now what's the point of any of this? Then on the other side, you've got the modern hacker, staring at a boring, soul-crushing corporate job and asking, how can I build something that actually matters? See? Different worlds, same basic problem. And they both reach for the same tool to solve it: radical and frankly terrifying freedom. Okay, so let's start right there with that shared foundation. Both of these worlds are defined by one thing: the complete and total absence of a script. The rulebook has been thrown out. All the old clear paths to success and meaning, they're just gone. This brings us to Sartre's biggest idea, and it's a mouthful: existence precedes essence. So what does that even mean? Well, think of a paper knife. It was designed with a purpose, an essence, to cut paper. But people, nope. Sartre says we're not like that. We just show up. We exist first as total blank slates, and only after we exist do we get to decide what we're for. It's up to us to create our own purpose, our own essence, through the choices we make. And this is the exact same problem that tech investor Paul Graham points out about the modern world. He basically says our whole education system is built on a lie. It pretends there's a set path, and it expects you to magically know your essence, your life's purpose, when you're like 16. But the reality, you're on your own. Just like Sartre said, you have to define yourself by what you do. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. This total freedom, it's not some big party. It's a burden. It's this profound, crushing weight of knowing that every single choice is yours, and yours alone. And Sartre, well, he takes this to a terrifying extreme. He argues you're not just responsible for your own life. With every single action you take, you're basically drawing a blueprint for how all of humanity should be. Every choice is a statement about how everyone should live. So, no pressure. So if you choose to be an honest person, you're not just choosing for yourself. You're implicitly saying, this is how humanity ought to be. If you decide to build a certain kind of company, you're endorsing that model for the entire world. Every personal choice becomes a universal statement. That is the agony of choice. Okay, I know, that's incredibly heavy stuff. So how do we actually do it? How do we build a self without getting crushed by the responsibility? Well, let's switch gears and look at the hacker's playbook for a practical strategy. If you have to create your own essence, what are the actual steps? Paul Graham gives us a surprisingly simple framework. First, work on your own projects. Forget your grades. They don't matter. What you've built is your real resume. Second, start small. He says it's a great sign when people dismiss your early project as a toy. It means it has everything it needs except scale. Third, be intensely curious. You want to make yourself a big target for luck. And finally, number 4, chase the weird ideas. If you're excited about something that everyone else thinks is crazy or ignores, that's your sweet spot. That is you defining yourself against the grain. So the path is clear, right? You're the lone genius, the solo hacker in a dark room, forging your own destiny against the world. Right? Well, here comes the big twist in our story. Is this really a journey you can take all by yourself? Or even should take by yourself? It turns out both the philosopher and the hacker have a very surprising answer. And here it is, the big reveal. The secret ingredient to creating yourself is other people. This is the moment where the philosopher from Paris and the hacker from Silicon Valley come into perfect alignment. See, Sartre argued you can't be anything, brave, smart, a genius, unless other people recognize you as that thing. Your very essence is validated by the community around you. Now, fast forward a few decades, Paul Graham observes the exact same phenomenon in tech. Truly great, world-changing work doesn't just happen randomly. It happens in clusters, like Renaissance Florence or early Silicon Valley. Your colleagues, what Sartre called the other, are what make greatness possible. Graham's advice here is basically pure, actionable existentialism. He says you need to find the best people to work with. Surround yourself with people you want to become like, because you will become like them. They are the mirror in which your essence is formed. So the takeaway is simple but huge. Choose your people wisely. So why does any of this, a French philosopher from the 40s, actually matter to you, right here, right now? It matters because the world he described is the world we all live in today.
You see, for a brief period in the 20th century, there was a script. You'd join a big company, you'd climb the ladder. But as Graham points out, that whole era is over. Technology broke up those huge monolithic corporations. That ladder is gone.
And because of that, we are all entrepreneurs now. Every one of us is a startup of one. Whether you're a freelance creator, a gig worker, or building an app in your bedroom, you are staring this existential freedom right in the face. You have to create your own path, your own meaning, your own essence. It's not a choice anymore. It's just our default reality.
So in the end, both Sartre and Silicon Valley bring us to the exact same conclusion. You are nothing but what you make of yourself. You are the sum of your projects. You are defined by your choices. So the only question that really matters is, what are you building?